Hello, everybody. My name is David Thiessen, and I'll be giving my testimony. So, I was born in Alberta, Bow Island, 1998, and born and raised here. And I guess we're raised in an old colony Mennonite way, really religious. So, um, sorry, I'm nervous. um, so, I was very shy as a kid. I didn't have very many friends. So I was always at home, always alone with my thoughts. So I always thought about things like death. I thought a lot about death, my death especially. And so I would always be alone at home when I wasn't doing something in Burdett where we lived. So while I was playing game or drinking a box of Pepsi a day, I would always think about death, what happens, my death especially. And so that was always something for me. And then when I was 12 years old, I started smoking, and that became a habit. So my weeks would consist of being alone, trying to find a way to get cigarettes, and thinking about eternity, and being terrified all the time. And I got older. I got a job. I did a lot of lying as well. I was a really big liar. I lied to get out of things. I lied to sound cool in certain ways because figured if I say I do this, then they'll think I'm cool. I'll get friends. Didn't work, but I did it. And so life went on. I got older. Smoking got worse. The thoughts got crazier and crazier, and the lying got worse and worse to the point where later I would lie to get out of work. I had a job, and I would lie about sickness or pain or certain things because I didn't want to work. I was lazy, extremely lazy, because I like being at home alone where I could be in my mind thinking about things. I got used to that, so that's where I went to enjoy stuff. And then, of course, later, a little bit older, 15, 16, I was shown pornography, and oh boy, a lot of people know that hooks you in real fast and really. So I got hooked on pornography, and that was a really big problem, really big problem. And the smoking got worse, the thoughts got crazier and crazier. And then my brother Knis, one day, he got saved. I have terrible memory, so I forget when it was. But I remember we were in Slave Lake. This was, I think, a couple years already after, maybe a year or so after he got saved. And then he called my mother and told him that they were changing churches. And we were sitting in the kitchen. We had just had, it was at lunch or supper. We were in the kitchen. And Knis called mom and told her. She started crying. And I was a mama's boy, so when she was angry, she got hurt or she was crying, I got angry. And so I started hating Knaltz because of that. He was preaching, and I didn't want to hear it. Oftentimes, well, when he came up to Slave Lake, it would come up in conversation, and I took those opportunities because I was a smoker. I was like, I'm going to go out and smoke. I don't want to hear about it. This terrifies me too much. So my life continued with the pornography, the smoking, the crazy death thoughts. Like my thoughts were always, well, if I die this way, I don't know. It was, yeah, if I die this way, well, how would they find me? What would they do if they found me dead this way? And those were always my thoughts. So, and then it was 2018. think it was 18, that my dad got cancer. So it was 19 actually, sorry, because so he got cancer, and then he died in May 4th of 2019, and we were all there at the hospital. But that night, when he passed away, my brother Henry was there alone, and it was a little bit after his death that I think my brother Henry, that experience I think it had a hand in my brother Henry's salvation. He got saved after that. And that was a shock to me as well, because another brother now was talking crazy nonsense. But it was after that it was a camping trip after my dad had passed away in Slave Lake. Me and my mom were still there a little bit. And we had this camping trip, and one night, it was my brother Knis and Teresa and me. Everyone else had gone to bed. We were sitting around the campfire, and they started witnessing to me again. And it was then that I started to get curious. Like, all this talk, I asked questions. They gave me the gospel. I asked more questions. And this is where my journey began. But my journey, like John was talking about doubt, there was a lot of doubt. They would explain it to me. I would ask questions, and I would doubt their answers. They would try to explain it to me. I would think about it, about like, yeah, but this, yeah, but that. What about this? And that continued for a while. And then we moved back down to Redcliffe, Medicine Hat. And I started getting interested. I didn't, when my brothers would come over and start talking, witnessing, I wouldn't go out and smoke sometimes. I would get interested. I was still very mad at them sometimes when they would make mom cry or make her. So, but I was interested in what they had to say, so I started reading the Bible more, a lot more. But it would only last for 2 weeks, and then I'd get bored of it, and then I'd stop reading. And I would read a lot. I had a lot of time because I wasn't working, so I would read a lot of chapters in one sitting, not really thinking about what I was reading. I was like, I'm going to read the Bible. Everybody says, read the Bible. Okay, I'll read the Bible. So I read, not really thinking about it. Just, I'll get so and so many chapters done. And then I burnt out in 2 weeks, and I never touched it again for months and months. And the pornography was terrible. The smoking was terrible. My thoughts, at one point, this was kind of a one-off. It wasn't a problem. I guess I had really gotten down that one day. And I love guns. I'm a big gun guy. So I have guns. But one day I was in my bed, just playing with my gun like I do sometimes at that point, and I loaded it. I put in the bullets, I loaded it, and I put it in my mouth, and I was like, should I? Why not? What would mom do? She comes home, sees me in my bed. What would the same thoughts I always had? What would they think? What would they do if they found me like that? But I stopped myself. I was like, what am I doing? This is insane. Put this thing away. And I did. And then never really thought about it again. It was just one of those weird one-off things. Like, what if? I'm glad I didn't. Very glad. And life went on again. But I got more and more interested. I started getting excited. When we would have family gatherings, my brothers, I always hoped, talk about it. I hope this conversation comes up. They'll start talking about Jesus. I got excited when they would come over, like, that they would talk about it with mom and me and everybody. So I started really getting interested, really thinking about things like this is something. There's something here, and I like family. And I was always extremely jealous over my brother Knis and Henry and their families. Like I still do. I want a family. I want lots of kids. So I looked at their lives and I got jealous. I wanted what they had. I love the way they were raising their families, living. Like I want that. But I still doubted everything they said and myself. So skipping forward a bit, this was last year, November. My brother asked me, like he had many times, hey, you want to come help me? We're going to paint doors. I need you to help me flip doors and stuff. Okay, yeah. And so it was a 2-day thing. One day we prepped the doors, one day he painted. So it was the first day we were sanding doors, and I think it was lunch break or just one of the coffee breaks. We started talking. We were talking about other people and their salvation, and we were talking about Jesus. And of course, my brother, the way he always did, he asked me, so how are you doing? How's your walk? How's that? And my answer was kind of the same as always. Oh, I'm struggling. struggling. And so we had gotten up, started working again, and my brother, Knis, all of a sudden turned to me, and as we were sanding, so he looks at me like, hey, you trust me? I was like, yeah. He handed me the sanding block that we were using, and I took it, and he was like, it's that easy. And right there, it flipped in my brain. I was like, got all emotional. At that moment, I didn't even really realize what happened. I cried. I thanked Knaltz for another good talk, and we went back to sanding, and it was actually that evening we went to my brother Henry's place for supper, me and my mom, and we were sitting on the couch, and my brother Henry was sitting across from me on the other couch. He comes to sit beside me, and he asked me, I'll say it in German, the way he said it, du bist noch ein Christ und du schmiegst noch einmal? And right there, I was like, in the name of Jesus Christ and his blood, I'm dead to this. And I wish I had stopped right there, but I had a few more cigarettes in my pack that I had smoked. But it was after that it went away completely. Like an instant. I never craved it again. I still don't. Like I'll think about it sometimes, but I never crave it anymore, which is a blessing that I could get rid of that. And so, yeah, it was in January, late January, that I got saved. So it's been a few months now, 5 months, 6 months, and I'm still learning a lot. And I love this church. I learn a lot every Sunday coming here, and the people here, compared to the old colony church where I don't think it was really the people, it was just my mindset. I didn't want to go to church. I hated church. I lied and did everything to get out of it. But now, things have changed, obviously. So, that's my story. And I'm hoping things will, what's the words I'm looking for? I'm excited for what's to come. New things to learn. I'm very excited. Thank you.
All right, David, you hop in, either use the stairs or... All right, what we'll do is when you're ready, then just sit down. All right, David, okay, you believe in Jesus Christ alone, and you trust him, yes. No works at all, death, yes, burial, resurrection. Yes. All right, okay, then I baptize you, my brother, upon your confession, in the name of Father, Son, Holy Ghost. All right, here we go, David.